There is always something different in the air whenever the weekend approaches and a massive clash is waiting on the horizon. And that feeling is even stronger when it is time for another old firm battle. The atmosphere around Rangers right now is intense. The anticipation is building, and supporters already know that the next few days could say a lot about where this team is heading. But before the focus turns completely to the pitch, there are some important developments behind the scenes that could shape the club's future over the coming months. One of the strongest stories emerging from inside the club is the growing belief that the board are ready to give full backing to manager Danny RÖHL once the summer arrives. Several reports suggest that the leadership group at Rangers see the current project as something worth investing in, and that they want to provide the manager with the tools necessary to push the team forward. When you look at the people involved at the top level right now, there seems to be a clear intention to build something sustainable rather than short-term solutions. That sense of commitment from the board is important because Rangers have already gone through significant changes over the past year. Last summer saw new ideas coming into the squad, and then the January transfer window added further pieces to the puzzle. Those additions brought a mix of profiles into the dressing room, and although it always takes time for a squad to fully settle, there are clear signs that the direction of travel is positive. Some of the players who have arrived are already beginning to show exactly why the club decided to move for them. There have been encouraging performances in key areas of the pitch, and a few individuals are starting to establish themselves as real assets within the team. When supporters see players developing and growing in confidence, it naturally increases the belief that the manager knows what he is doing with the squad he is building. The idea now is that the summer could become another major step in that process. Instead of constantly rebuilding from scratch, Rangers appear determined to strengthen the foundations that are already being put in place. Backing a manager properly does not just mean signing players. It also means trusting the vision and allowing that vision time to develop. From the outside, it certainly feels like the club's leadership are prepared to take that approach. At the same time, there is already discussion around potential moves in the transfer market, and one name that continues to appear in conversations is Mikey Moore. The talented young attacker has shown glimpses of genuine quality, and there is a growing feeling among the Rangers' support that bringing him back to Glasgow next season would be a major boost for the squad. However, securing a permanent move would likely be extremely complicated. His parent club will almost certainly reassess their squad in the summer, especially considering the difficult campaign they have endured. Whenever a team struggles in a major league, change tends to follow, whether that involves a new manager, a different tactical direction, or a wider evaluation of the players currently on the books. Because of that uncertainty, a permanent transfer could be difficult to negotiate. A new manager arriving at his club might want to take a closer look at every young prospect available before deciding who stays and who moves on. That situation often makes loan deals more realistic, particularly when a player has already shown he can gain valuable experience elsewhere. And that is exactly where Rangers could come back into the picture. The talk around the club is that there may be an attempt to arrange another loan spell, potentially involving a significant loan fee in order to convince his parent club that another year in Glasgow would be beneficial for everyone involved. When you watch what he can do on the pitch, it is not difficult to understand why Rangers supporters would love to see that happen. There have already been moments where his ability to influence a game has been clear for everyone to see. When he gets on the ball with confidence, defenders can struggle to contain him. His movement, his dribbling, and the way he can glide past opponents give Rangers a different kind of attacking threat. Those are the sort of qualities that can completely change the dynamic of a match. In one recent performance in particular, he looked almost impossible to stop. Every time he received possession, he seemed capable of creating something dangerous, whether that meant driving forward himself or opening space for teammates around him. At times, the defenders marking him simply could not cope with the speed of his movement or the unpredictability in his play. Moments like that are exactly why the coaching staff value him so highly. Players who can break defensive lines and inject energy into an attack are incredibly valuable, especially in high-pressure matches where one spark of creativity can decide everything. If Rangers do manage to secure another season with him in the squad, it could give the team a major boost going forward. While that situation continues to develop, another intriguing name has started to circulate in recent days. Rangers have reportedly been keeping an eye on a young attacking midfielder currently playing in the English leagues, a player who has quietly started attracting attention from multiple clubs thanks to his technical ability and versatility. The player in question is Ashia, a 19-year-old who has been developing his game at Huddersfield Town. Even though he is still early in his professional journey, there are already signs that he possesses a skill set capable of causing problems for defenders. He is known as a creative forward who can operate in several different attacking roles, whether that is drifting out wide, playing just behind the striker, or linking play in advanced areas. One of the most interesting aspects of his profile is his technical confidence. Ashia is the kind of player who enjoys taking defenders on, using quick changes of direction and close control to open space. That style of play makes him exciting to watch, but it also suggests he could bring something fresh to any team willing to invest in his development. Of course, like any young footballer, he still has areas that need improvement. Senior football brings physical challenges that can take time to adapt to, and players at his age often need to continue building strength and consistency. But those are normal steps in the development of a young talent, and many clubs believe that with the right coaching environment, those qualities can evolve rapidly. What makes this potential move particularly interesting is that his current contract situation could make him accessible this summer. When a promising player becomes available at a relatively low cost, competition naturally increases. Rangers are believed to be monitoring the situation closely, but they are unlikely to be the only club considering whether he could become a smart long-term addition. Interest from different clubs is already beginning to surface, which is hardly surprising when a young attacking player starts producing promising numbers. Teams across England are believed to be keeping a close watch on Ashia's development, and there are also suggestions that clubs north of the border are paying attention as well. Whenever a player combines creativity, pace, and technical ability at such a young age, it naturally sparks curiosity among scouts and recruitment departments. For Rangers, the appeal is easy to understand. The club has increasingly leaned towards a strategy that mixes experienced professionals with emerging talent who can develop and potentially become major assets in the future. Bringing in younger players who still have room to grow can strengthen the squad in the short term while also creating long-term value. If a player develops well, performs consistently, and eventually attracts attention from bigger leagues, the club could benefit both on the pitch and financially. Looking at Ashia's profile, there are several traits that fit that model quite well. He is primarily a right-footed attacking midfielder, but has already shown the ability to play in a number of different positions across the forward line. Coaches appreciate that kind of flexibility because it allows tactical systems to shift during matches without needing constant substitutions. A player who can move from the wing into central areas or drop deeper to help build attacks gives a team far more options. Reports from those who have followed his performances closely describe him as an explosive runner with sharp acceleration. When he receives the ball in space, he tends to drive directly at defenders, forcing them to react quickly. That direct style can stretch defensive lines and create openings for teammates making runs beyond him. In modern football, where many teams defend with compact structures, having someone capable of breaking that shape through dribbling can be incredibly valuable. There have even been comparisons made to certain high-profile wingers in European football, particularly in the way he uses speed and close control to glide past opponents. While those comparisons should always be taken carefully, they do highlight the type of attacking instinct he seems to possess. Players with that natural flair are often the ones capable of producing those unpredictable moments that shift the momentum of a match. Of course, development is rarely a straight path. At 19 years old, Ashia is still learning how to handle the physical demands of senior football. In some matches, he has found it difficult to win physical duels against more experienced defenders, and there have been occasions where stronger opponents manage to knock him off the ball. But that is not unusual for players still adjusting to the professional level. Strength, balance, and decision-making under pressure are all aspects that tend to improve with regular playing time and structured coaching. If a club believes strongly enough in a player's technical foundation, they are often confident that those other elements can be built over time. For Rangers, a development environment that blends experienced teammates with a demanding fan base could actually accelerate that learning process. His appearances this season have mostly come from the bench, but even in limited minutes, he has managed to leave an impression. Across all competitions, he has featured 28 times, finding the net 6 times and providing 3 assists. Those numbers might not immediately jump off the page, but when you look closer at the minutes played, they suggest a player capable of making a meaningful contribution when given the chance. In league matches, he has often been used as an impact substitute, entering games when defenses are already tiring. That role can sometimes suit quick and skillful attackers because it allows them to exploit spaces that open up late in matches. Several of his performances have shown that he is comfortable taking responsibility when the ball arrives at his feet in dangerous areas. Another point worth noting is the variety of positions he has occupied throughout the season. There have been appearances on the left side of midfield, on the right wing, and through the center in an attacking midfield role. That kind of positional experience at a young age can be extremely beneficial for long-term development because it forces a player to understand the game from different tactical perspectives. His football journey began in youth systems where he developed the technical side of his game before eventually moving to Huddersfield in search of a clearer pathway into senior football. That decision appears to be paying off, as he has gradually moved from youth football into first-team involvement. Even though he is still at the early stages of that transition, the exposure to competitive matches is clearly helping his progression. For Rangers supporters, the idea of adding a player like that naturally sparks curiosity. Fans always enjoy discovering young talents before they fully break through, especially when those players bring an exciting style of football with them. If the recruitment team believes Ashia could flourish in Scotland, it would fit perfectly with the broader vision of building a squad that mixes potential with proven quality. At the same time, it is widely expected that any summer recruitment will not focus solely on youth. Within the club, there is an understanding that experience and leadership remain essential if Rangers want to compete at the highest level. Young players can provide energy and creativity, but strong personalities are equally important in guiding a team through difficult moments during a demanding season. That balance between youth and experience has already been visible in recent transfer windows. Some arrivals have brought maturity and leadership qualities, while others have added long-term potential to the squad. Maintaining that blend will likely remain a key priority once the summer market opens again. Beyond the transfer discussions, attention is now starting to shift toward the huge match approaching this weekend. Cup football always carries its own tension, and when Rangers and Celtic meet in a knockout situation, the stakes rise even higher. Supporters know that these fixtures rarely follow predictable patterns, and the emotional intensity around them often produces unforgettable moments. Before we continue, make sure to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications to get all the exclusive news about Rangers FC. Don't overlook any details about your beloved team. It's crucial for Rangers FC fans. In the restless world of Scottish football, where whispers can travel faster than a long ball up the pitch, a new murmur has begun circling around Rangers FC. The name at the center of the latest speculation is manager Danny RÖHL, whose reported frustration with one of his players has sparked intense discussion among supporters and pundits alike. According to voices close to the dressing room, RÖHL was heard delivering a blunt verdict during a heated moment behind closed doors. The message, as it has been retold across training ground corridors and fan forums, was stark. He doesn't play for me anymore. While the identity of the player has not been officially confirmed, the phrase alone has been enough to ignite rumors of a serious rift inside the Ibrox camp. Sources suggest the incident may have followed disagreements over discipline and commitment, with some claiming the manager has grown increasingly demanding as he tries to shape the squad in his own image. RÖHL, known for his meticulous approach and intense training standards, has reportedly made it clear that no player is bigger than the system he is trying to build. Within the club, there is said to be a mixture of tension and curiosity about what happens next. Some insiders believe the situation could simply be a case of a manager sending a strong message to the rest of the squad. Others suspect the relationship between coach and player may have deteriorated beyond repair, potentially opening the door for a departure before long. Among supporters of Rangers FC, speculation has been relentless. Names are being tossed around on social media and in pubs across Glasgow, with fans trying to read between the lines of recent team selections and training reports. Every substitution, every absence from the matchday squad, is now being scrutinized for clues. For now, the club itself remains silent, offering no confirmation or denial of the alleged comment. But in Scottish football, silence rarely stops the rumor mill. If the reported words from Danny RÖHL are accurate, they could signal a defining moment in the manager's attempt to assert authority at Ibrox, and possibly the beginning of the end for one player's time in the famous blue shirt. Greetings, fans. Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel, as it's greatly appreciated by Rangers FC. And don't forget to share your thoughts on the news in the comments section below. Until the next video, stay tuned.